Hello and welcome to the Being Knowledge Share. In this episode, we continue with requirements analysis design and we work on the validate requirements task within this chapter. So, what is validating requirements? The purpose of validating requirements is to ensure that all requirements and designs align to the business requirements and support the delivery of needed quality or needed value. So the difference between validate and verify requirements equals quality standards of the requirements. Validate requirements is to ensure that all requirements are mapping back or aligned to the business requirements. So there's a stark difference between the two, just very important to keep in mind. So requirements validation is an ongoing process to ensure that stakeholder solution and transition requirements align to the business requirements and that the designs satisfy the requirements. Understanding what the desired future state looks like for stakeholders after their needs have been met is valuable to the business analyst when validating requirements. The overall goal of implementing the requirements is to achieve the stakeholders' desired future state. In many cases, stakeholders have different conflicting needs and expectations that may be exposed through the validation process. Some of the elements here are identify assumptions. If an organization is launching an unprecedented product or service, it may be necessary to make assumptions about customer or stakeholder response as there are no similar previous experiences on which to rely. In other cases, it may be difficult or impossible to prove that a particular problem derives from an identified root cause. Stakeholders may have assumed that certain benefits will result from the implementation of the requirement. Second element is to define measurable evaluation criteria. While the expected benefits are defined as part of the future state, the specific measurement criteria and evaluation process may not have been included. Business analysts define the evaluation criteria that will be used to evaluate how successfully the change has been after the solution is implemented. Baseline metrics might be established based on the current state. Target metrics can be developed to reflect the achievement of the business objectives or some other measurement of success. Number 3 is to evaluate alignment with solution scope. A metric can be of benefit to a stakeholder and still not be a desirable part of a solution. A requirement that does not deliver benefit to a stakeholder is a strong candidate for elimination. When requirements do not align, either the future state must be re-evaluated and the solution scope changed, or the requirement removed from the solution scope. If a design cannot be validated to support a requirement, there might be a missing or misunderstood requirement, or the design must change. Some of the guidelines and tools here used are the business objectives, future state description, the potential value, and the solution scope. Some of the techniques used here are the acceptance and evaluation criteria, document analysis, financial analysis, item tracking, metrics and KPIs, reviews, risk analysis, and management. Stakeholders here are all stakeholders, meaning the business analyst would work in conjunction with customers, end users, and sponsors that has a primary responsibility for determining whether or not requirements are validated. So that being said, let's look at this task from the eyes of Amanda, who is a business analyst that has been hired to enable a change for the business from a brick and mortar pizza joint to an online store. In this task, what she has done, she's already elicited her requirements. She's built and specified and modeled her requirements. So what she's going to do is she's going to validate the requirements. She's going to ensure that what work they're doing actually ties back to the business objective. And in Agile, this indicates value. Are we providing value to our customers? In this case, she identifies assumptions upfront in this task. In the event this is like a new product, and this is a new product. They haven't experienced this before. So she identifies those assumptions up front. And assumptions as an example could be assuming that they'll get a steady flow of customers, assuming that the brick and mortar customers will come and order pizza online and completely change the way their behavior patterns. So that's kind of the assumptions that we're talking about here. Define measurable evaluation criteria. So she builds a Excel spreadsheet where she says, okay, this is the criteria that's going to be used, or metrics that will be used in order to say, hey, we have provided value to our customers. And she works through that. She evaluates alignment with solution scope. So she makes sure that she has a solution scope up with her as she is going through this task. Some of the key guidelines and tools used here are the business objectives, the future state description, the potential value, as well as a solution scope. Some of the techniques used here are the acceptance and evaluation criteria, the document analysis, financial analysis, item tracking, metrics and KPIs, reviews, risk analysis, and management. She leverages the implementation SME, the customers and end users and sponsors, and all stakeholders as she's going through this process. So that being said, this ends the task of this requirements analysis and design chapter to validate requirements. And until next time, we'll see you then. But if you do find value in these videos, please do consider subscribing to this channel. Please do consider visiting our website at baknowledgeshare.com. Link has been provided below, as well as do consider joining our Facebook group. The Facebook group information has been provided below. So until next time, see you then.